Barca and Madrid. It's always a spectacle, but with the champions desperate for a win, the latest El Clasico was an instant classic. They were separated by just 4 points in the table. See the game-winning goal that may have settled the debate, Messi or Ronaldo. Well, much more on the Grand Prix later in the show, including why weather could be a factor on the track today. Also, the compelling story of an Olympian who just could not stay away. What tempted Janet Evans to come out of retirement? And hear what this baseballer did that is rarely ever done in the sport. Stay with us. World Sport continues in 90 seconds. World Sport continues. In 2005, White Sox pitcher Philip Humber received the worst news of his young career. Humber learned he would need surgery to repair the elbow on his throwing arm. Now, no doubt Humber worried that his time in the big leagues would be short-lived, but little did he know at the time that 7 years later, he'd be joining an elite group to have ever thrown a perfect game. That's what a pitcher doesn't allow when he hits, walks, runs, base on balls, hit batsmen, basically the perfect game, hence the name. Humber got his Saturday during a 4-0 shutout of the Seattle Mariners, and amazingly, Humber needed just 96 pitches to get it done. Well, today sees the big race taking center stage in Bahrain. There's no question it's been a tense build-up to it. And now the drivers face another potential distraction coming in the form of sand. Meteorologist Pedram Javaheri is at the International Weather Center to tell us more about it. And Pedram, I know on Saturday during qualifying, temperatures were said to be in the neighborhood of 107 degrees Fahrenheit. I believe that's 43 degrees Celsius.
Absolutely.
So they have the heat to deal with, and now they have another element to deal with.
Ray's now with the details. And Ray, this could have been a whole lot worse if it weren't for the safety officials on standby there.
You know, Susan, I've been following IndyCar racing for a long time now, and I got to tell you, this is one of the scariest things I've ever seen happen in the series. Simona De Silvestro is a promising young rookie and one of 4 women drivers now taking part in IndyCar racing.
Ray's in for Ray for now with more on that.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Robin, this is a guy who still is trying to make amends with the fans after he basically quit during a game a few years ago. Now, Young admits he did use bad judgment by even being at the strip club. Not only did he apologize to his fans and teammates Monday, he told rookie players, guys, you really need to learn from my mistake. Speaking of punishments, how about this story? A bullfighter arrested and charged with breach of contract after he retreated from the ring and jumped over a wall to avoid the angry bull. Listen closely. Yeah, I think he was screaming there, Robin, yeah.
Well, okay, so he had an issue before. He had an incident before.
That's right. To his defense, Christian Hernandez was gored by a bull several months ago. And even
this is the first time he got back in?
He got back. He was back in the ring. He briefly returned after he retreated, ran away, whatever you want to call it. Hernandez later saying that he plans to retire from bullfighting.
Well, I can't blame him. So he tried it again, and his mind just said no. But they're suing him for getting out of the ring.
You know...
Well, they're charging him, right, for breach of contract.
Yeah, they're charging him for breach of contract. You get into the sport knowing the dangers, and you run away, and then you quit.
It was the pink pants, I'm telling you.
I think that's what it was.
The Goodyear Tire Company is making an historic change to its racing tires, and Ray, it certainly seems that NASCAR has gotten into the spirit of the holiday weekend, you could say.
Yeah, it's a pretty neat concept, Susan. It's all a part of Goodyear's Support Our Troops program. The changes for the 4th of July weekend only feature a patriotic red, white, and blue color scheme on the sidewalls reading Support Our Troops, and the company is also auctioning off some of the tires used in last night's race in Daytona, and who knows, maybe a few of those tires may have been involved in this huge crash, a 20-car pileup with just 12 laps to go. It involved a number of the series' top contenders and forced the race to be halted for about 20 minutes while track workers cleaned up the debris. Now, fortunately for Kevin Harvick, he was able to avoid all that mess and drove his car to victory lane. Just a great race. And while Harvick was having fun in Florida, yeah, the Arizona Diamondbacks were just struggling against the Dodgers. And let me tell you, these guys have become the bad news bears of baseball. They recently fired their manager. Then last night, they set a franchise record by committing 6 errors, 3 of them in 1 inning. Adding insult to injury, Dodgers beat them by a final score of 14-1. Yikes. Finally, I want you to take a look at this. What you see here is the actual trophy from the World Cup. Now, the reason why we're showing you this is because reports out of Colombia say police there confiscated a replica made entirely out of cocaine. It was discovered during a routine security check at the Bogota airport. Evidently, authorities were tipped off by the bad condition of the gold paint. Test results showed The fake trophy was made using 24 pounds of cocaine. And Susan, the actual trophy weighs only 13 pounds and is made entirely of solid 18-karat gold. That stuff doesn't chip.
Yeah, that'll tip them off, the chip
Yeah.
paint. Ray, thank you.
Okay.